This video is just a bit of a rant that I have about player expectations, especially in regards to the Werewolf the Apocalypse game that I run. It does carry over to other games. I've run other games like Vampire the Masquerade, Dark Ages, you name it. I've probably run it at some point or another. Something that I've noticed and something I've been disappointed about for years are where my expectations with players continually get frustrated. I see too many players out there that don't know how to turn a negative into a positive. I see players out there who, if something positive happens to their character, they're going to flaunt it and be very arrogant about it. But they can't handle the negative. I saw a player not too long ago who was owning challenges. He was kicking butt in a fight, and he was gloating about it. And then his challenges went sour. And as soon as they went sour, then it turned into this bullshit. And this wasn't an in-character response, this was an out-of-character response. That is the mark of an immature gamer. And that's not something that's going to make it better for everybody around you, because that is the whole deal with gaming. Staff members are there to enhance the enjoyment for the greatest amount of players possible. The players are there to write part of a story and to enhance the mood around them. It's a conglomerate effort. It's everybody working together. Too many characters don't know how to come back from adversity. Werewolf's a good example. If you fall in some way, you've suffered a punishment, right? You've lost everything that mattered to you, so to speak. You should be able to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and drag yourself back up to a position of prominence. That makes for some of the greatest stories out there, and it's some of the greatest achievements I've ever seen. However, entirely too often we see people who just can't do it. And that leads to the thing that really pisses me off on a regular basis, the blaze of glory. When somebody starts to suffer adversity, what do? They decide to go out in a blaze of glory, and it's unnecessary. They just basically suicide their character in a big fashion, so they can turn around and go, oh yeah, well, the main reason that creature got killed is because my character threw himself at it and sacrificed himself. That's not what it is. It's a cowardly way out, actually. On occasion, it's acceptable. You're in a scenario where your blaze of glory is going to save everybody else. That's a non-selfish way to do it. Blaze of glory because you're just not happy with what happened to your character. Why are you even playing? I mean, that's what I look at it. The other thing is making yourself unplayable. You're part of a troupe. You're part of a chronicle. The idea is to find your niche in there and to help make the chronicle better. If you make a loner character that is going to basically run off, and as soon as the storytellers can't give you enough time because you're running off by yourself while they're dealing with groups of 10 and 12 over here and there, you become a hindrance to the game, not an asset. Why in the world would you do that? Why in the world would you basically turn around and say, oh, my character is so set forth that I'm gonna run off and do this, that I can't play the character anymore? That's a cheap way out. And 9 times out of 10, the person ain't doing it because they believe it. They're doing it because they're avoiding something else, such as somebody who knows they're going to get punished for something or whatnot. They run off so they don't have to face the music on what they've done. And the last thing is dying quietly. If your character dies, he dies. You've made your story and it's time to wrap it up. Don't bitch afterwards. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it. Don't basically make everybody in the free world hear about it. If you have a problem, you should be able to go to the storytellers. If there's no storytellers, there should be a player representative. You should be able to go to somebody and say, hey, I don't think this was legitimate. But if that's the case, a fair staff is going to listen to you. They're going to look at it, and they're going to come up with a resolution. Either they're going to decide that, okay, we're going to reverse this in some way, which I'm not a big fan of, or they're going to find a way to compensate you. However, much like, Chicken Little with the Sky is Falling, if you do that every time a character dies, even though it was a totally legitimate one, and you're just looking to, try to scrounge up some gold digging experience points or whatever it may be, nobody's going to take you seriously after the fact. So just die quietly. People respect you more for it than they will if you whine and cry. And I hate to say this, but if players think that you just died legitimately and you bitch and cry and whine about it, and the staff gives your character back, the players don't want to deal with you anymore. They're going to look at you as a hindrance to them. they're gonna frankly start to loathe you. And the secondary effect of that is it makes the staff look weak. When a staff looks weak, well, they've lost control of their game. They might as well just give it up, because at that point, everybody's lost confidence in them, and they're not going to be able to run it as effectively as they used to. So that's kind of my rant, is the fact that I'm looking at players who you're going to get negative, especially in a game like Werewolf. Roll with them. Just roll with them and turn them into a positive, because that's the greatest victory you're going to ever get. And I'll say that's rant completed.